Our soldiers are gonna be in Israel, are in Israel right now as we speak, in order to defend the Israelis. Do the Israelis pay for our military? Are they the ones who are shelling out $1 trillion a year for our military? No, they're not. We pay for our military. Why are our soldiers based in Israel? Why do we have F-22 Raptors in Israel in order to protect Israel? In a laughable attempt to drum up support for the U.S. carrying out a war against Iran on behalf of Israel, senior Trump advisors are allegedly hoping that Israel launches an attack on Iran first, which would then trigger retaliation from Iran against Israel, and then it would drag the United States into war. Instead of listening to the American people, the Trump administration would like to manipulate the American people. So the calculus is a political one. The calculus is a political one, that more Americans would stomach a war with Iran if the United States or an ally were attacked first. But again, under this dumb plan, Iran wouldn't have attacked the United States or Israel first. Israel would attack Iran first, and then that would, of course, spark a retaliation, which is normal. I mean, what would we do if we were attacked on our land? We would respond, right?
Trump is now appearing to threaten the use of nuclear weapons if Iran's retaliation continues. Iran just stated that they are going to hit very hard today, harder than they have ever hit before. They better not do that, however, because if they do, we will hit them with a force that has never been seen before. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald John Trump. It's not entirely clear what Trump means by a force that has never been seen before, but since the United States is the only major power that has ever used 2 nuclear weapons in a conflict, it's likely that he means he is going to use nuclear weapons on Iran. It could also mean that there is some classified technology that the United States has never used up until this point. But whatever he means, it's incredibly scary. This is not something that the president should be tweeting about lightly. This is a conflict that is going to take more than just the 24 to 48 hours that the Trump administration is saying it will. This will cost American lives. This will cost civilian lives. It has already cost women and children their lives. It's an absurd conflict that Donald Trump is using to deflect from the Epstein files or some other nefarious plan. It's ridiculous, and it needs to stop now.
Iranian here, with a message for every single American who voted for President Trump. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. God bless President Trump, God bless the US military, and God bless America. We can't wait until Iran is free and we can welcome you back to our country with open arms and be the allies that we used to be before the Islamic regime took over our country in 1979. That's it. Thank you. Thank you so much, and God bless America.
Hello, brothers and sisters. Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host and presenter, Agent Stories. We are all saying that Americans are not happy with what is really going on right now. And you can definitely see some of them regretting Mr. Donald Trump as the choice that they made. Remember Donny the Boy promised people to not engage in war and at least try to foster peace. And I think since Mr. Donald Trump got into seat, I don't think that's been the truth of what he said. It has been the totally opposite of what has been the truth on what he's been saying. Because you understand that he is a person with ego. Donny the Boy has ego. And he needs to prove to other people that, this is what I can do. And when you you risk the lives of your citizens to do all that, and to prove to the world that you're still strong, to prove to the world what you can do, to prove to the world your military muscles and everything, it puts the citizens of the country into risk because people don't know what's really going to happen. Because according to what Iran is promising to retaliate to what the US did to it. But hey, this is what people had to say in regards to this. Brothers and sisters, I want you to take your time and listen to this, because this is how white Americans feel about these issues. And probably it's crazy that people are talking about this right now. But remember, black people had already warned you about Mr. Donald Trump. And I say this and I will say it again. Another name of Mr. Donald Trump is what we call imperial overreach, because he's a person who is good at that, and he has always been doing this for the longest time. And people are asking themselves, was this necessary? Was this really Americans' fight? Does this really affect Americans? But yes, diabolically, Mr. Donald Trump got into it, and it led people talk about this. And so, brothers and sisters, I'm gonna let you watch the video, and then I'll be back at the end of the day. We'll have a conversation in regards to this. So let's watch the video. I'll be back.
Iran is not our enemy. Israel owns Trump and the U.S. government. Israel wants Iran completely destroyed and thrown into chaos so that Israel can mow the lawn in Iran whenever it chooses. Israel is forcing the United States to attack Iran to fulfill Israel's darkest desire to destroy and control Iran so that Israel can now become the king of the Middle East, the hegemon, enslaving all the Arabs and Muslims in the region. Israel's plans for the Middle East, in close coordination with the U.S. military-industrial complex, have been known since 2007. In 2007, General Wesley Clark famously recounted that a general in the Pentagon told him on or about the 20th of September 2001, that is 9 days after 9/11, "We've made the decision. We're going to war with Iraq." I said, "We're going to war with Iraq? Why?" He said, "I don't know." General Wesley Clark came back to see the same Pentagon general a few weeks after his 20th September 2001 visit. And he said to Wesley Clark, "I just got this down from upstairs today." And he said to Wesley Clark, "This is a memo that describes how we're going to take out 7 countries in 5 years, starting with Iraq and then Syria, Lebanon, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and finishing off with Iran." According to Wesley Clark, this plan was not about responding to direct threats or deterring conflict, but was instead aimed at fundamentally reshaping the geopolitical landscape of the Middle East in a manner favorable to Israel. Let us be very clear. The American people have been brainwashed into believing that the United States military's purpose is to keep America safe. The United States military's true purpose is to start wars and change governments on behalf of Israel. The Israeli Zionist Jews tell America, "Go and kill people, destroy governments, and create chaos." The crazed, insane Israeli Zionist Jews tell Americans to go die for Israel so that Israel can move one step closer to achieving the Israeli plan for Greater Israel. Who has paid for these wars? America, and it will be Americans who will die in this war against Iran, a war that has absolutely no benefit to America. Iran is no threat to the United States. Israel is the real threat to the United States of America. President Trump has been manipulated to sacrifice America to please Israel. Consider how much money the United States has spent on wars that Israel has ordered since 2001. Since 2001, the total estimated cost of U.S. wars on behalf of Israel is $8 trillion. This includes the $5.8 trillion already spent and the expected spending of at least $2.2 trillion on obligations for U.S. veterans' care over the next 30 years. And since 2001, at least 30,000 U.S. military personnel, contractors, and allied troops have died on behalf of Israel. And the number of people that have died in the Middle East at Israel's bidding is about 4.5 million. And this impending attack on Iran is a major distraction from Israel's barbaric and genocidal attack on Gaza and the West Bank that is pushing forward with great gusto in a veiled and underhanded way, as Trump's Board of Peace keeps lying to us that the war in Gaza is over and that Israel will not be allowed to annex the West Bank. And we all know that the United States is paying for the Gaza, the genocide in Gaza. So, where are we on all of this? American mainstream media is grooming ordinary Americans into believing that Iran is a huge threat to the United States. Do not believe these lies. America has sent enormous military assets to the region to intimidate Iran. It is not working. Iran keeps being calm and resolute, telling the United States that Iran is not a threat. Look at these messages from Iran's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Syed Abbas Araghchi. The first message regarding Iran's nuclear program. Remember the nuclear program that Trump keeps telling us he obliterated in June 2025? This is what Mr. Araghchi said. Our fundamental convictions are crystal clear. Iran will under no circumstances ever develop a nuclear weapon. Neither will we Iranians ever forgo our right to harness the dividends of peaceful nuclear technology for our people. And the second message regarding Iran's ballistic missile program, let's listen to the video.
Complained about fake news. So I think now it is himself the victim of fake news, unfortunately. We are not developing, long-range missiles, and we have limited the range of our missiles below 2,000 kilometers intentionally by ourselves because we don't want anyone. We don't want it to be like a global threat. This is only to defend ourselves. Our missiles has, defense nature. They are only to build deterrence and to help us defend ourselves, exactly as they did in the last June's war. We didn't initiate that war. It was Israelis and then Americans. We only defended ourselves. For them, that was an illegal act of aggression. For us, it was legitimate act of.
But do the Israeli Zionist Jews and the United States military-industrial complex with their war hawks listen? Of course not. And so we wait for Trump to pull the trigger. But Trump knows the American people do not want this senseless war with Iran. So the Trump administration is telling Israel to strike first. And when Iran retaliates and probably kills some American military personnel that are currently stationed in Israel, then Trump can try and fool Americans. Look at what evil Iran has done. Iran has killed Americans and they are bombing Israel. So America must now go and destroy Iran to save Israel. So Israel forces Iran to defend itself, and we have innocent Americans dying, and innocent Iranians dying, and Israeli Zionist Jews dying. And for what? For some twisted notion gleaned from the Bible calling for greater Israel. If this completely avoidable war is forced on the American people and our American soldiers are forced to die for Israel, then I want Iran to teach a hard, a bloody lesson to the arrogant and insufferable United States of America and pound the hell out of Israel and any U.S. bases or assets in the region. I want Iran to grind Israel into the ground so they will never forget that it was Israel's evilness that brought this destruction. I want Israel to finally realize that they are not the chosen ones and they have no right to treat the Palestinians or anyone with savagery and barbarity. I want the Israeli Zionist Jews to suffer in the same way that they have made the Palestinians to suffer. And I want the American government to know that they are far from invincible. Palestine will be free from the river to the sea. More next time. I'm Penny Elaine. Thank you.
The American people do not want war with Iran, plain and simple. Donald Trump's decision to strike Iran is reckless. He did it without any congressional approval. It's unconstitutional and it does not make our country stronger or safer. We need Congress to do its job, reclaim the authority of the War Powers Act, and hold this White House accountable. Trump ran on a platform saying he would not create wars and foreign conflicts. This is the opposite. It's extreme, and there's no game plan here at all. I'm standing outside the State Department. I served on the Iran policy team here when Trump tore up the nuclear deal. This move is unacceptable. We need oversight and we need action right now.
So I was out like a light. Woke up randomly around 2:30 a.m. feeling terrible, like headache, nauseous, feeling like I'm gonna throw up or some shit. Check my notifications on my phone. Oh, we attacked Iran? Huh? And then I guess Iran attacked a US base? What the fuck?
Iranians want their country to be bombed by America and Israel. How does that make any sense? Stick around and I'll explain. In normal circumstances, no one wants a war in their country, but Iranian circumstances are anything but. In the past decades, Iranians have done everything to peacefully change the country. They voted for reformist presidents. They protested election results. They protested the hijab law. They protested inflation and so much more. Those attempts failed, were met with violence, or they brought about change that was way too slow. All the while, Iranians are suffocated more and more by sanctions brought about by the state's core ideology, which it is not compromising on. Those sanctions have caused an economic collapse. Iran has the highest inflation rate and the most devalued currency in the world, so people who could barely make ends meet went out and protested, but they were crushed. And now they feel that there is no option left to peacefully change the country, so they're advocating for regime change from abroad. You may ask those Iranians, haven't they learned from the lessons of Iraq and Afghanistan? Their answer is that Iran is not like those countries. It's older, more authentic, not a colonial construct, not divided in the same ways. It has a more educated population, and on and on. Iranians who support regime change think Iran is more comparable to Germany and Japan, which in the long view of history are probably better off because of American intervention. That's their view. My view is that a regime change war is unlikely to make Iran free and give us self-determination, and I always fear for civilians caught in the crossfire. In any case, we should be respectful with each other and communicate with peace. We are all Iranians. If you want to learn Persian so that you can access Iran, understand the debates, go to Iran one day and speak with the people, then see my free Persian intensive in the bio.
Like all of you, I woke up this morning to the terrible news that Donald Trump had taken us yet again to war with Iran. Ask yourself who this benefits. It doesn't benefit you or I. It doesn't make our grocery prices any cheaper. It doesn't address the fact that our healthcare is more expensive. It doesn't make home ownership more attainable. All it does is change the subject, distract us from the broken presidency of Donald Trump. This is a man who ran on America first, ran promising that the era of regime change wars was over. And now he's just taken us into another foreign entanglement, the third one this year alone. This is Trump admitting that he cannot solve your problems. He will not even try. Instead, when those problems get bad enough, he's going to distract you. He's going to distract you by weaponizing ICE on your street, killing American citizens, telling us that he's doing something about immigration while he's really just weaponizing and normalizing paramilitary force on peaceful streets. And now he's going to take us to war. War with a nation of 93 million people that's got serious ammunition and artillery behind it. We don't know where this ends. But what this is normalizing a chaos because he can't actually deal with the problems in your life. This is an illegal war. There is no justification for it. He didn't even try to justify it to Congress. He had every opportunity in his State of the Union. He didn't. He's not trying to justify it to the international community because, again, there is no justification. Who benefits from this? How many American women and men are going to get broken over wars we never should have fought? How much of our time and our treasure is going to be spent shedding blood rather than saving lives here at home? This is unacceptable. No war with Iran, and we are going to stand up every single day to oppose this.
Imagine being told you have to risk your life and fight in a war for a country that you don't even FW. That means fuck with. I was just using slang. But like, first of all, I don't even want to fight in a war anyway. I would never do that shit. I don't want to shoot a gun. I don't want to fight. I don't want to be in the trenches. I want to sit in my bed and watch Jinxie all day, and I'm going to do that as time goes on. Even though I don't really understand why somebody would willingly place themselves in the military, I can see the whole you want to defend your own country shit. But why would you want to go defend a different country? Fuck that. Especially when it's a country that, hasn't done shit for you. Why should I go do shit for them? I'm no political genius, but that doesn't make any sense to me.
Once again, in the space of less than 2 months, we awake to find that Donald Trump has illegally and unconstitutionally used military force against another country. Today, he has started major combat operations against the nation of Iran. He is doing this because he is flailing politically. He ran on ending foreign intervention like this, but because he sees his political future at risk, he is willing to send young American men and women into harm's way, and he is willing to bring an immense amount of violence upon the civilian population of Iran. This behavior makes us a pariah on the international stage. But we have to remember that this behavior is because we have acted like this in the past. I fought in wars just like this one. We cannot continue to have a foreign policy built around just dropping bombs on people when it benefits those in power here at home or benefits corporate interests abroad. This is not how the United States military should be utilized. Sadly, in the coming weeks, we are likely going to see more horror and more failure. This kind of behavior needs to end. None of us, no American, certainly no one in the Democratic Party, should support this kind of operation. This is the kind of foreign policy we need to end, not continue to support. I'm standing across the street from a war memorial here in northern Maine. It reminds me of the human toll of war, something that I have seen with my own eyes. We cannot continue to act in this way. This must end.
Donald Rontavious Trump, I know you did not just bomb them damn folks. Now North Korea calling. No, go ahead, pick up the phone. We're here now.
Hello brothers and sisters, welcome back to the channel. I'm hoping that you are doing great from wherever you're watching this video from. You have seen that indeed Americans are not happy with what's really going on right now. People are questioning the sanity of Mr. Donald Trump because what he's doing is so much diabolical. People didn't choose him. People didn't sign him up for this. People didn't know that he will engage in this. But at the end of the day, I think they saw it coming because black folks, I've been trying to warn you about violence with white America. I've been trying to warn you about violence with Mr. Donald Trump because this is what he is good at doing. And he did it in the best way that he did. He's trying to support, he's trying to stand for people and with things that doesn't benefit the American citizens. For the longest time, all this imperial overreach, what it has done to the United States is to take the resources, is to take what could have helped the American citizens. We have seen the living standards of people rising because of the resources, because of the taxes of the American citizens, which is being used to fund all this violence that is happening outside the United States. And we are all getting to see this happening in real time. And honestly, I'll tell you, white Americans are not proud of Danny the Boy. White Americans don't believe that this is the person that we chose. This is the person that promised us peace. This is the person that promised not to engage in conflict with other countries that doesn't have anything to do with the U.S. But because of political overreach, but because of Mr. Donald Trump wants to prove to the world that he is still the strongest and the best there is, he has to get into it. And so, it's really crazy. But hey, I didn't have much to say about this because I already did an episode trying to explain about this, but this is just the second part of it. I really don't know what you think about this, or I mean, honestly. But please let me know. Just let me know what you think about this. I really want to know what you think about this, right? So I'm your host and presenter, Genetic Stories. But until then, I'm hoping to see you on my next video. Until then, peace, love, and harmony. Salute.